What is up, everybody? It's Rank Vader, and if you're in America, if you're in the States, you've probably played Ikoria on Arena, but man, these Godzilla cards are just so interesting. And to my knowledge, they're only available in collector boosters. Coming May 15th, I do plan to crack one of those. But today we're going to go over all 19 of the Godzilla alternate art cards. Starting up, we have the Buy a Box promo, Godzilla King of Monsters. It is a 7/3 trample for 7 mana. I believe this is only available when you buy a box. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the collector boosters or not. Next up, we have Brokos, Apex of Forever. The alternate art is going to be Bio Quartz Space Godzilla, a 6/6 for 6 mana that can mutate from the graveyard. Now, as long as you have any creature, a 1/1, you can literally put it on a token. You can mutate from your graveyard and keep bringing it back. There can be something very powerful. Next up, we have my personal favorite, and I personally kind of want to build around this. We have Yadaro, the Wandering Monster, also known as Godzilla, Doom Inevitable. An 8/8 for 7. You can cycle this card for 2 mana. When you cycle it 4 or more times in a game, you can cast it from your graveyard before you draw a card. Now, reoccurring an 8/8 for 2, that can be game breaking. We have Titanoth Rex, Godzilla Primeval Champion, 11/11 for 9. Big beast creature. There's a lot of ramp and green. There's a lot of things you can do with an 11/11. You don't have to just cast it nowadays. When you cycle it, it gives you a trample counter. Trample counters, with the monolith, you can kind of transfer counters around and keep them from disappearing. May be useful. We may see some decks with that. Next up, we have Polywog Symbiote. Probably the most adorable baby Godzilla card there is. It's a 1/3 for 2, which allows your creatures with mutate to cost 1 less. It also gives you the ability, when you cast a creature with mutate, you can draw a card, then discard one. I see this being played in a lot of decks. Next up, we have Vadrox, Apex of Thunder. Its alternate card is Rodin, Titan of the Winged Fury. A 3/3 for 3, but its mutate is what people are going to fall in love with. You can cast a non-creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less without paying for it. I really see this being popular in a lot of the Jeskai Fire decks that are going around. Another good card that I would love to brew around is Illuna, Apex of Wishes, also known as Ghidorah. A 6/6 for 6, but when you mutate it, you're able to exile the top card of your library until you exile a non-land permanent. You can play that card onto the battlefield or put it into your hand. Really, really strong, very similar to some cards in the past from Exelon. I'm not sure the name offhand, I can't remember it, but I really see this getting a lot of play. Next up, we have Nithori, Apex of Death. I could see this getting a lot of play too. Biolante Plant Beast form. This is literally a cat nightmare beast, something your dreams are made of. When this card mutates, you can return any number of creatures with a total of power 10 or less to the battlefield. Literally, you can break the game with that. Next up, we have Everquill Phoenix, or Destroyer, Perfect Life Form. When you mutate this creature, you're able to create a feather token, which you can pay 1 and sacrifice to return any phoenix from the graveyard to the battlefield. This is going to get a lot of play in modern and vintage Arc-like decks. I really see this being a popular play. Next up, we have something that's already breaking games, and Magic the Gathering Online has banned it in certain EDH formats. We have Garuda, Doom of Depths, also known as Gigan Cyberclaw Terror. When it enters the battlefield, both players exile the top 4 cards into the graveyard. Return 1 with even converted mana cost to the battlefield. I mean, an 11/11, you can bring a lot of large creatures into play with it. And but that kind of, it comes into the luck of the draw. Next up, we have the Spite Dragon, also known as Dorat, the Perfect Pet. It is a 1/1 for 2 mana, But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can put a +1/+1 counter on this. If this was in the last rotation, the Crackling Drake is Zet Drake deck would have loved this card. Another one of my favorites, probably the most beautiful artwork in all the alternates, is Luminous Broadmoth, Mothra, the Supersonic Queen. This card is going to break mono white. When a creature without flying dies, return it to the battlefield with a flying counter. So imagine you're a Johnny Primate with the Ozolith dying with 9 counters, coming back, getting a flying counter, and then being able to move those 9 counters right back into it. That's going to be a very nasty combo. Next up, we have Gemrazor. Angruous Armored Killer, a 4/4 for 4. When you mutate, it can destroy target artifact or enchantment. With a lot of these enchantment creatures that are there, this could be useful as a sideboard, but possibly not going to see very much play. Another amazing card is Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt. Also known as King Caesar, Awoken Titan. Is a 3/5 for 4 mana with double strike. Anything with double strike right now, double strike and mutate is overpowered. We've seen that with Embercleave, what it's been able to do. So imagine being able to mutate this onto something with hexproof. And when it mutates, it also does 4 damage to either creature or planeswalker, and you gain 4 life. That's going to be a very powerful card. Next up, we have an uncommon. We have the Huntsmaster Liger, which is also King Caesar's Ancient Guardian. When it mutates, other creatures get +X, where X is the number of times it's mutated. So similar to an Endraiser ability, but not as powerful. Not bad for an uncommon. Next up, we have one of the most controversial cards that Magic has ever put up. We have Void Beaconer. And in its limited time release, in the first printing of these packs, you're going to be able to get Space Godzilla Death Corona. Right now, it's the most expensive card in the set. We're literally talking about $150 just for the non-foil version. You're only going to be able to get this card in the first printing. After they reprint more boxes, name's going to change. The value may hold, the value may drop and then raise over time. But the second printing is going to be called Space Godzilla Void Invader. Not a very powerful card. It's an 8/8 for 8, but when you cycle it, you can put a Death Touch counter on something. So the Death Touch counter, an instant speed Death Touch can kill something unexpectedly. I don't see it getting too much play. Okay, so next up we have some more controversial cards. These are the Japanese only alternate art. So apparently there was a logistics error, and these are only being printed in Japanese collector booster. We have Mothra's Giant Cocoon. Whenever it mutates, you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. Not bad if we go back to one of those creatures we talked about earlier. It can mutate onto anything from the graveyard. Would be a good combo with this. Another one that's Japan only is we have Batra, Terror of the City. This is one of my favorite artworks, and I'm a little disappointed that the States aren't getting this. Flash and Flying, mutate for 6 instead of 4. When it mutates, you can destroy target creature or planeswalker. That can be pretty nice with the mutate ability. Next up, we have Mecha Godzilla, another amazing artwork, but sadly it is Japanese only. This is Crystalline Giant, and I've been worked by this card in Arena, in Brawl, and a couple other modes. At the beginning of your combat, you can add a counter that it doesn't already have. This can range from First Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Vigilance, Menace. Imagine mutating something onto this with Double Strike. It literally can break the game. I'm very interested to see brews with this and to see this fit into a lot of different mid-range decks. Now, Wizards has also made a little bit of an announcement where they talk about the possibility of getting more of these cards to it. They understand that they made a mistake. They understand that this was a logistics error, and they apologize for it. I'm sure it's something they're going to work on in the future. They have stated that they may be providing these 3 cards to local card shops, local game stores. for people who buy the booster boxes, the collector booster boxes. Now, I will be reaching out to mine. Shout out to Top Deck Keep in Southern California, and hopefully I will be able to come home with a couple of these beauties. If I do, we'll talk about a giveaway for them in the future. If you're like me, I've been loving, absolutely loving this set. I know it may not be popular or the majority, but these monsters, these Godzilla cards are absolutely stunning to me. The artwork in the set is beautiful, and I cannot wait to crack a box and share it with you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you like the content, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, leave the comments down below. Thank you.